Okay, so hi guys, welcome to Merrative Live. We are back with another session of Buddy Reads, and I have a wonderful group of people who are going to talk about a very special book today. The name of the book is Dear Ijeawele, or the Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. Written by the very famous feminist, of course. We all know Chimamamda and Adichie, and she's definitely one of the best feminists that we have today in this world. It's a strange irony that it was the letter that she wrote to her friend as an email, and then that she expanded it and became into a book. And what better than Daughter's Day to actually talk about a letter that was so personal and that actually tells children to grow up as feminists and break all the shackles that we all know today. So, talking about these interesting points, we have wonderful guests today. We do have our host Gunjan, who's going to helm the session for all of us, and we also have our regulars, I must say, Ruchira and Neha, and plus we've got three debutantes, Ross, Additi, and Ankit. So Ankit and Ruchira are going to be speaking from the same camera. So I would request them to be a little closer because I can only see half of each of you as of now. Yeah, now it's better. So what I'm going to do is I hand it over to Gunjan, who will start the session maybe with an introduction, and post that she's going to talk about the book and let each reader also tell about their take on the book and really talk about what is it that makes it a special book. I must also mention that in our past few sessions, we have seen many readers say that we're not sure if we can talk about the book because many people are still waiting to read it. So if you are waiting to read this book, this chat will be full of spoilers. So, you might want to log out if you want to. But if you want to have a perspective, even if you want to read this book, this can be a great perspective which can encourage you to read the book as well. So I'm going to stop talking and hand it over to Gunjan. Gunjan, over to you.
Thank you, Deep. Hi, everyone. So, like Deep said, we'll start with the introductions first. So, I have a good friend over here, Neha, and Neha and I have met because of books, truly because of books. So, Neha, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Gunjan. As Gunjan said, me and Gunjan met because of the books and because of the book club that I'm running. It's been almost 8 to 9 months now. We started off in the month of November. I'm also running a Broke Bibliophile Bombay chapter book, which is huge on Facebook. Plus, because we were a bunch of people, avid readers in Thane, who couldn't go, to so far as Bandra, Worli, or something to meet, we decided to open a small book club of ours in Thane itself, where we could meet regularly at least once a month. I mean, even once a month is not good enough for us readers, but yeah, once a month we all meet regularly. So barely after 4 meetings, we had this lockdown, but I should say nothing can stop us from, meeting. So we started this Google Meets and Zoom Meets online, where we have been regularly meeting once or twice a month also. We've had author meets, we've had, buddy reads, and we've had lots. In fact, we have had lots of things related to books online. So yeah, we are also planning to start our own giveaway takeaways for the book club, and we also have fun quizzes every month lined up. So yeah, if you want to be a part of the book club, you can always reach out to us on this after this live session. That would be it. Apart from that, I am an avid reader since so many years, and now I would say that I would, this book came to me at the very right time. I mean, I was wanting to read this book long back, but nevertheless, never late than ever. So thanks, Gunjan, for making us all read this book, and I'm looking forward for having a healthy participation in this discussion. Much opted discussion. Thanks.
Thank you, Neha. So, I have Ruchira and Ankit with me. Ruchira, I have known she's my childhood friend. We went school together. And I missed out knowing Ankit. I don't know, but we belong to the same place. I'm right, right? So, I'll over to Ankit and Ruchira. Guys,
Hi, hello everyone. So glad to see you all here, and thank you for having me here. Well, I don't read much, but yes, I'll just speak about this book that I'm really lucky enough that through you I came across this particular book. And especially being a father of two daughters, it will really help and encourage me to teach them right things. And I'm a dentist by profession, and that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess this has become a very familiar platform for me, and I'm Ruchira. I'm a dentist. I specialize in prosthodontics. We live in Pune, and I'm very thankful to Merrative. I'm thankful to Gunjan for introducing me to this group. I'm thankful to Neha, whose group has been a great source of inspiration and lots of reading going on over there. So it was a lot of fun reading this book because there were so many arguments which I have had with people over the years, and I felt that, oh my God, somebody gets this and probably got it far way back than I thinking about this. So I've been brought up by very strong women. I have very good female models in my life, and I just loved the book from the beginning to the end. So I'm looking forward to a lot of healthy discussion, argument, different viewpoints happening over here.
Thank you, Ruchira. So the other participant we have is Additi, who I think I have known for quite some time. And we usually earlier we were a two-women book club, like we used to call each other and discuss book. Now it's expanded. So Adu, can you please introduce yourself? I'm sorry, I'll refer to her as Adu because that's not how I call her.
I can start reciprocating. Gunu. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me at this platform. I think this is my first meet, and I'm really excited because actually Gunjan, as usual, introduces me to a lot of different things, and she's the one who got me here. And I love the fact that she introduced this book to me, and this is something that Gunjan and I discuss very often, and it's a big lament for us. And it's so nice to see it in writing in words, and it's such a lovely book. And so I'm supposed to introduce myself. Sorry. So I am currently working in Bombay, but during the lockdown, I've come back home to be with my parents, and I'm logging in from Delhi right now. I work as a customer service person, and I think the only quiet time that I get is with my books, and Gunjan and I share this love that we have together for books. I'm mostly a fiction person. I love fantasy fiction too, and I really want to expand my genre of books. So I have joined Neha's book club as well. I have met up with them a couple of times, I guess, and I think for us. Gunjan and me, joining a book club was something, like we're taking our love to, to the next level. So yes, I love books. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Adi. The next person to go is another book lover, huge book lover. And I'll be very honest, he has had a huge impact in the past few months that I've known him on my reading list. And he's made it the better. He's really improved my reading list because I came to know him. So, Rosun, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My heart is beating really fast right now from all the compliments. So my name is Roshan. I am an IT consultant. I live in Kharghar, which is in Navi Mumbai. I've been parts of book clubs for almost a decade now across Bangalore, Mumbai. Currently, I'm part of a couple of book clubs in Mumbai. Also, one of the book clubs which is very special to me is Queerati. It's a group of queer readers. So, as a queer person myself, book clubs have been one of the places where people have been most accepting and most, kind. But even with that, we felt that, we should have a group of readers who are queer and, who meet up and maybe discuss queer literature or queer writers. So we have that, and if anybody's interested, then please get in touch with us. Yeah, so I really like this book. It's just So I read her another book, which is We Should All Be Feminist, and I felt it was okay-ish, 3 out of 5. This one is definite 4.5 out of 5, because in just 81 pages, she gives so many life lessons. And I'm not a girl, and maybe some of them won't apply to me, but even with that, I found it very impactful. I kept on thinking about my mother, my sisters, and all the women. And like I'm a very proud feminist, although people say you shouldn't say you're a feminist, because that's by default. People shouldn't be claiming that. So yeah, I really love the book, and I'm very happy to be here. This is my first session on Merrative.
Thank you, Roshan. So by the, you all know I'm Gunjan. I'm from Mumbai, and I think the biggest thing I can say about myself is that I'm a bibliophile. As soon as I see books, I get a smile on my face. That's like guaranteed to make me smile on the worst of days, also. So, this book that we are discussing today is called Dear Ijeawele, or also A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. That's the title I read, and it got me hooked, because to explain feminism in 15 suggestions is like difficult, and I just was wondering how would she do it. So Chimamamda Adichie, she's written these letters to her friend who had asked her, "How do I raise a feminist girl child?" And this is in 15 suggestions. There are 15 suggestions that she gives her friend, that these would help you or can be the guidelines for raising a feminist child. So we'll start this discussion on the book. The first thing that I want to know from you all is that what does the word feminist mean to you? Do you identify yourself as a feminist? So Neha, would you please go?
Sure, thanks. So basically, feminism to me, I wouldn't identify myself as a core feminist. Having said that, feminism to me is, fighting for equality of gender rights, irrespective of, whether you're a woman or a man. Yes, you have to be having equal rights. So it should not be only based on gender. And also, I want feminism to be used as a tool to empower women to realize their full rights, and not a setback for them. Okay, I am a woman, so I cannot do this thing or do that thing. So do not, I mean, I don't want women to be identified as that. So feminism has to be used accordingly to this, according to me, to empower women. That would be it. Thank you.
Roshan, would you go next, please?
Yes, feminism to me would mean equality, as Neha also said. It would mean equal rights and equal opportunities. So I think there is no need for me to mention women over here, because it's about equality. So the gender has nothing to do with it. This is what I feel. So that's what equality, equal rights, and equal opportunities. And I identify myself as a feminist, but as I said earlier, one of my friends feels that there is no need for people to identify themselves as feminists, because by default we should be. So yes.
Thank you, Roshan. Ankit, would you like to go next, please?
See, feminist for me, it's like being a normal human being.
Additi, will
Every
you go
human.
next? Uh,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
See, feminist for me, as I was saying, it's being a normal human being. All of us, as we grow, we change ourselves from being feminist to others, what we actually become due to the circumstances, our desires, and the way we are brought up. So, what I feel, it is being a normal human being, and we should try that we grow in that manner and be like that. It's not something special. It's like it's day-to-day routine. Every human being should be a feminist. Every male, female, all of them should be a feminist. This is what I take from feminism.
Thank you, Ankit. Aditi, your views.
Hello. Yeah, I'm audible, right? Okay.
Yes, sure, Additi.
What I wrote for feminism was it means being equal. What I mean here is I want to be measured on similar parameters as a man. And yes, I do identify being a feminist. And actually, Rosun, I love the fact that your friend mentioned that you shouldn't identify yourself as a feminist, because that is natural and it should be. I mean, just because we're humans, we are doing the same thing, we are on the same planet, we're doing similar things, then we should be treated equally, and therefore nobody should be actually identified as feminist. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in, and we have to be vocal about actually wanting to be equal. So the first thing that I wanted to mention here was that I want to be measured on a similar parameter as a man. Second thing that what I want is being presented with similar opportunities. Just for an example, I can give an example of my, my boss, or even other companies and job opportunities, where they would prefer a man to do the job, not because they are more qualified or anything. They themselves say that women are more hardworking and they are more sincere, but they feel that once the woman gets married and she'll have children, and there'll be a period of time where there is discontinuity in the work. That's the only reason why they would prefer a man over a woman. So that is something which it's a natural thing. We cannot change that, but not just because of that, I would not want to miss out on a job opportunity. I would not want to miss out on a job. Similarly, people should have similar expectations. Now, the expectations from a girl is she has to look after herself, she has to take care of the family, she has to, those same expectations should come into place. If it is the girl's job to look after the family, it is equally the job of the male or the spouse or the husband, or the father in the family, to also look after the family. It cannot be just this expectation has to be on the woman. So that is another thing that I want, feminism means that people should have similar expectations from both partners or from both people involved in a relationship. So that's what I think feminism for me means. That's what it means to me.
Thank you, Additi. I agree. The best part that I like is everybody said that feminism is not about women empowerment, but asking for equality of all genders. And that is what I feel that people need to understand, that when we talk feminism, we are not only talking women empowerment, we are talking equality of the sexes. For me, feminism means that I will not be judged based on my gender, or anybody else for that matter will not be judged based on their gender or on their sex. My capabilities will be judged by the talent that I have, the kind of maybe talent I show, the kind of inclination I show for a work, not by my gender. Be it any work, be it any line of work, even if it's a work that involves physical strength, I would not want to be judged by my gender. Maybe I want a society where we don't have a tick to put in any gender boxes. It should be just my name, my thing, and by my gender. Judge me on my capabilities, not on my gender. So that is for me what feminism is. I agree with Rosun that I should not have to say that I'm a feminist, and I usually don't need to say it. People get it, but the thing is, in an unequal world where we are fighting for equality, and most people are struggling for it, then yes, if you need to raise your voice, if you need to say I'm a feminist and I will not take this lying down, I will use the word feminist to get to you that this is unacceptable to me and I will not take it lying down. Before we go any further, let's address the elephant in the room for every woman, which is motherhood. Though said to be a lovely experience, but unfortunately in our society, motherhood also for the women comes with a lot of baggage, a lot of excess baggage. So I would like your opinions on what do you think of motherhood? how do you think the society needs to change its perception of motherhood, the way they perceive motherhood? So, Ruchira, would you please go first?
Before I speak on motherhood, I would like to speak on my take on feminism. Okay. And I feel it's really sad that we are in a society where we need a term like feminism to exist. That's what I feel, because we are all human beings. We deserve equal treatment. Just because somebody is physically stronger or somebody is physically weaker doesn't bracket them into a criteria where they need to be judged for it. I mean, a man could be physically weaker and a woman could be physically strong too. So that all the notions that have been built up over thousands of years, it's going to take a long time to undo it. But I believe for me, feminism is being non-judgmental. That you do not put brackets or names or tags on anybody for anything. That's what feminism is for me. When you ask me about motherhood, see, I feel that this is a very sensitive topic, and many people are going to disagree with me on that. Because Indian culture, and from what I read from this book, probably even African culture or Black culture, or even all over the world, it is assumed that it is the sole responsibility of the mother to bring up the children well. And God forbid, if the children make a mistake in any way, you first blame the mother. Uh, I have been brought up in a scenario in which both parents were equally responsible for us. In fact, it was a community which was responsible for us. But I know nowadays children do not get that kind of support. Like all of us do not have grandparents living with us. We don't have aunts and uncles close by, etc. So I personally feel that the father is the first figure, besides the mother, of course, who sets an example for his children. If you have a male figure in your life who respects women, it teaches the girls to expect respect and to be treated as equal. I wouldn't say respect, but to be treated as equal. And it also teaches the boys in the family to treat women as equals. So I feel the mother will, most of the times mothers automatically do that. Yes, there are cases in which, there is gender equality happening from the parents. That's where it starts in most houses. But more than the mother, I think the father plays a bigger role in this. If the main male figure in your life from the beginning teaches you equality and behaves in a certain manner, you will automatically expect it and do it in return.
Thank you, Ruchira. I'm so sorry I missed you. The one screen kind of got me. So next time I'll keep that in mind. Roshan, will you give your opinions next?
Um, this is very difficult for me to comment because I have so much to say and so much to gather from my own mother's experience or other women's experiences. But personally, I cannot like it's not easy. But I would say that I'm sure that after you become a mother, it affects, as in you start to see things differently, right? That's like stating the obvious. But I mean, I don't know about my mom's or my mother's times, but even in my generation, I see households where the gender-defined roles are so problematic. Like the man have to be outside doing things, and the woman have to be inside doing things, and so automatically the responsibility of the child goes on to the mother because the father is outside. And so we still don't have we still follow this very strict defined norms, whether it is North India, Northeast India, South India. I see it everywhere. But good for us, lucky for us, the people of my generation, they are not averse to discussing this. They are not like ignorant, or they don't deny it, that this inequality exists, that the responsibility automatically goes to the mother or the female members of the family. So yeah, obviously there's like a huge disparity, inequality, whatever you call it, and then the mom is responsible for everything. And like I've seen my mother. In fact, I grew up most of my childhood with my grandmother. So I would see my parents only after their working hours, right? So like like a female member of the family is responsible for the child, right? So yeah, I have a lot to say on this, but maybe in time I'll talk about it.
Thanks, Rosun. Additi?
Yeah, hi, thanks. Again, I would say for me, see, I'm not a mother, but I do see women around me, my friends, my relatives, my mother, my sister, everybody, my mamas, mommies, all of those people, and the sole responsibility of childcare seems to be on the mother. The stand again, I come back to the same point. The standard set for men and women is different. For women, it is a requirement that the child care has to be on the mother. And I see this being justified. Why? Because they say, oh, you see the animal kingdom, and in the animal kingdom, the male just, impregnates the female, and he walks away and he, sows his oats, and, you know, the woman then has the child and then raises the child and teaches the child how to hunt and kill and eat and run away from the predator or whatever. But I would like to point out to those people that fine, we are animals, and you can take the example of the animal kingdom, but there is, we do say that humans are evolved beings. How are we involved when in this aspect we are not evolved? We are following the same thing that the animal kingdom is showing to us, the same behaviors, the same patterns are being followed. So I would like to bring out this point that how are we evolved as human beings if we are going to just follow what is being followed in the animal kingdom? So that point has to be addressed, that question has to be asked. Why is childcare the sole responsibility of the mother? I do understand that motherhood changes women. They become more protective, more possessive, and they want to be more involved in their child's life and in his upbringing. But at the same time, it may not be true for all women. It may not be true that all women may want to have motherhood also, or they want to become mothers in the current situation too. They may have different aspirations and ambitions in life. Then again, why is it that if a woman is not wanting to become a mother also, or we feel that she is deficient in some manner, there are so many men in the world who would say that I don't want to have an offspring, and that would be considered absolutely fine. Again, the standard is different here. The women are supposed to want to be mothers. That is also another point that I would like to bring up here, where a woman does not have a choice when, or the society feels that a woman, she has to be, at least she would want to be a mother. That may not be true for all women. That may not be true, and she may not want to be a mother at a younger age. She may want to, be a mother at a age where she feels comfortable in her, in her life, wherever she is, in her career, in her personal growth, in her spiritual growth, in her educational growth, wherever she is in that path, whatever she's following. If she feels at that particular time, whenever she's comfortable, then she's supposed to be a mother. But then there is a huge societal pressure on her to first be a mother and then be a responsible mother, taking full responsibility for the child. So that's where I feel, we need to have a discussion, and it needs to, people need to have an open view on this part as well.
Thanks, Additi. Ankit, will you please share your views?
To come to motherhood, I would like to go back, when supposedly our life was normal, like in Ramayana stage or things like that, where women were given respect and they were in equal part to the males. I don't know whether then also it was like that or not. Supposedly it was like that, and then the mothers, they must have taught their children in certain way that things have come to this level that we have a term called feminist and we have to be feminist, and terms like feminism have come up. Now we are in this stage that terms are there and our lives are like that. So let's talk about today's mothers. Now you have a son, you have a daughter, and it is very common, like how many mothers would do this every day. Ki go beta, help your sister with this particular work, go help your sister, she's alone, go and drop her there, because the situations around us are like that. But instead it should be taught to their sons from the beginning, the day they are born. They should be brought up as feminists. And now definitely they have to, because we have to get back to a level that both the genders are equal and they can live a comfortable life. And mothers play the most important role right now. The situation is such that mothers play the most important role, because how many mothers would you see guiding their daughters who are having a bad marriage and telling them, "Ki go and leave your stupid husband and come back to us." They'll say you have to compromise, right? And right from our religions, like in Hinduism we have a festival called Rakhi where the brother is protecting the sister. So even in our festivals we have we are anti-feminist, right? And even in our marriage vows we are very clearly portraying male as more dominant sex than the female, that male will get the food of the house and female will take care of the house. So motherhood, I feel it's the beginning where feminism should be, it should be brought into the life of a newborn child. So mother is the most important part in that. This is what I take.
Thank you, Ankit. Neha, please.
Yeah, thanks. So motherhood to me, this is a very important question because I personally feel motherhood has definitely changed me. Yes, it has been a long time, like 20 years. So at that particular time of point of time when I became a new mother, I just dropped everything and prioritized on my children. So yes, that would change for a woman. I mean, I'm not talking about the current situation, but before that, I hadn't read this book. So, anyways, but my priority definitely changed and I prioritized my kids. So when I was working and my commute was almost 3 hours to and fro, I took a back seat and I said yes, I wanted to concentrate on my kid. So I took a break from my working. So that means I put my career on hold, but I wouldn't say somebody forced me to do so, because that was my belief and I prioritized. So that is also okay. So I wouldn't be putting it as anti-feminist or something, because I was okay with it. I think feminism is about giving a choice to your individual, what you mean exactly. So if you are okay with that, it's okay. So I had taken a back seat. Then after some years, when my kids grew up, I again joined, and I'm a full-fledged career in my career now. But having said that, again, if you ask me the society's perception, I get questions. How are you able to manage the house and the work both? Or how are you able to manage? Who's taking care of your kids when they are alone? Or how do if you get late in the office, who does the cooking? So I get these questions, and I then realized that you are going to be hounded or you're going to be judged. Once you become a mother, you're going to be judged whether you are able to balance or not. And that doesn't happen with the males. Or whether they are not asked after a father, are you able to balance your life or not? So that difference I have observed. Obviously, as Rosun said, nowadays it has changed. Definitely, everybody has been taking equal responsibility. Even I see, many of my younger friends being equally taking responsibility. So I'm very happy for that. And having, as Ankit said, I personally believe in teaching my sons, everything, not gender based roles or something. So they do the cooking, they clean the house and do everything. So I would say that is the first thing that you should be teaching your kids, be it son or daughters, equally, that you have to manage the house. They are not gender based roles. That would be motherhood for me in sum. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Neha. So, like all of you said, I got your pick on motherhood, and I agree, resonate with Neha the most because I feel it is a choice that the society does not give the women. So are being asked questions like, "3 साल हो गए शादी की बेटा बच्चा कब कर रहे हो?" Then it goes to, "अरे गुड न्यूज कब दे रहे हो?" The very next day auntie ji is coming and telling you, beta good news kab de rahe ho? It's like, you feel like asking them, auntie, if you were so worried about the good news, maybe you would have gotten in some practice earlier, if you would have preferred that, but that's okay. So those irritating questions, why ask me for the good news? My body, my rules. I will be a mother when I'm ready to be a mother. Secondly, I'm not a oven, where you keep the bun in and you program and you get a nice loaf of bread out. So it does not happen like that. It's very simple. If I'm not pre-programmed to make babies, like the oven makes bread, I'm not pre-programmed to make babies. So if I don't find a babies attractive, that's okay. It's my choice. Every woman should not. I don't know why they have this basic idea that a woman should be a nurturer and a carer. Does not come pre-programmed. I don't feel very. I have a son, and I'm still not very fond of kids. Like if you told me to go to a birthday party with kids, whatever hair I have left, I will pull them off and run away screaming. Before my son runs away, I will run away screaming. So no, it does not happen like that, and I don't like that attitude. Even the Western world, your clock is ticking, tick tock, tick tock. Seriously, that's the only aim a woman has. And like Neha very rightly said, at work you are hit both ways. If you give priority to your child, if you ever take a leave because your child is sick, देख ले, मैंने बोला था ना, बच्चा हो गया आधे टाइम तो ऑफिस आएगी नहीं, बस बच्चे के पीछे लगी रहेगी. If you don't take sick leaves, if you are totally ambitious, focused on your work, पता नहीं कैसी माँ है यार. बच्चे का से तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. इस औरत को तो घर बार की कोई चिंता ही नहीं है. They won't let you be at peace any which ways. So this is what I don't like. Like I said, have the same gender rules. If the father was equally responsible in procreation, in creating the child, so don't dump it on the mother. Don't keep us responsible and stop harassing about us having babies. Maybe that is not our priority in life. And let us be. If men don't want to be father, it is okay. So it should be completely okay if women do not want to be mothers. So then very close to this and very common to this topic, I would like to have your take on parenting. How our society has made parenting only a woman's job. Even though the word suggests two parents, parenting in us in the society has become, and it's not only in India, all over the world it is like that. That parenting is associated with women. Sayings like मम्मी माँ ने कुछ सिखाया नहीं, माँ ने ठीक से ट्रेनिंग नहीं दी, all those things. So I would like Ankit to go on this and let us know what he thinks about it.
Being a parent, I would say this is the most beautiful thing that has happened to me in my life. And I would talk about my parents, from my mother especially. Whenever there was this fasting called Karwa Chauth in my house, I've seen my mother fasting throughout the day, not eating, not drinking water, things like that. And when I was a child, it was a festival for me, so I used to wait for my dad. He'll get food from outside and we'll enjoy that food. And in the afternoon also, and I would see my mother is not eating that food. So gradually, when I started understanding things, so I supported her by fasting along with her. Even I never used to have water, not used to eat anything. And seeing me, my father also started doing it. So now me and Ruchira, both of us do that. And recently, seeing both of us doing it, our daughters were also having a fast for this Janmashtami festival. They were not eating anything. So we had to get some food for them. But what I'm trying to say is that being a father, it's what I feel my role also has a major impact on my child's growth. So we have daughters, so things are different with us since both of them are girls. So we are like pure feminist, and I cannot do anything else but being a feminist with them, being a sole male in the house. So parenting, I would say, is each and every step that you're taking right from the morning till night, you should make them understand that it is not something special that you're doing by respecting their mother. It is not something special that you're doing by helping her in their household. And it is a normal life. You have to grow up like that, that it is normal. Now, being a father of a daughter, of two daughters, I have to teach them that whomsoever they are with in their future life, they should not take any bullshit from that person, or they should not take anything that you are the female of the house, so you have to do this, or you are the mother of the child, you have to do this. They should, if they start learning it from this stage, they will not take any setback right from step one of the marriage or from their partners. So your marriage, your parenting should start right from the beginning. You know, the day the child is born, it is the responsibility of both the parents to take care of that child. And in the beginning, we both had difficulties. Like for me, my sleep is very important, and I was not able to sleep in the night because of my first daughter. So I woke up irritated every day in the morning, and even I should accept this. I said once or twice that I have to go to work. You are at home right now, so please let me sleep. But Ruchira very clearly made it clear, this is not my responsibility alone. If she would have been quiet and accepted that fact and allowed me to sleep, or said, okay, you sleep, I'll take care of the child, I would have gone in a wrong path altogether. So here I would say it is the mother's responsibility also to show her rights, that no, this is not my duty alone to raise my child or your child. You should be an equal partner in this. And I realized it. We had fights together because of this reason, but then gradually I realized that she's right, and it is right on her part to raise her voice on this particular matter. And it is wrong on my part to think like that, that I have to go to work in the morning, so I will not do anything, you have to do everything. She made me realize for those 9 months she had all the problems alone, and I was not having any problems. And now the child is out, it is both of our responsibilities. So right from day one, a mother should take care that the husband is made to realize what his responsibilities are. And then gradually when the child is growing, now she loves to read books, she incorporates those habits. I like technology, I like things like photography and things like that. So we never try to buy toys which are as the book also says, which are gender specific. I try to make them learn something which has physical activity. I try to make them learn which has something related to technology. Ruchira asked them to read books, but I don't know from where these girls only want to buy dolls. From where they got this habit that they only want to play with dolls. Now, this is the society, of course. We need to understand that they go to school. They are going to school where other girls are coming, and their parents must be teaching them something, that girls only should have pink color. They should only play with dolls. So, when we meet other parents, we should talk, we should communicate that this should be taken care of as a group also. That if you have a boy, that doesn't mean. Now, how many parents we have seen, if a boy is good looking in his teenage and girls are going behind him, they appreciate the fact, my boy is very handsome. Whereas if boys are going behind girls, that particular girl is being told to dress properly. Why are you going out in the evening? Things like that. Instead, call those boys who are going behind those girls, talk to them. As a father, I would do that. Sit down and talk together. Why are you going behind her? Have a healthy conversation. Whatever you want to talk, talk. Instead of asking my daughter to stay at home, dress properly, don't go out in the evening, being a father, I'll do that. And I don't think so that these days boys will also disagree with me. Yes, they should talk. If you are not able to talk, then just go to hell. Even my daughter will understand that these boys can't even talk. So why should I give any interest to this particular person? This is my take on parenthood.
Thank you, Ankit. I've seen that. I remember coming over to their house for their younger daughter's birthday. And Ruchira told me she likes Barbie, and I was so unhappy. I said I have to pick up Barbie. I was really unhappy that time. But then thankfully Barbie has professions these days, so that made me a little happy. So Additi, will you please share?
Hi. Ankit, I really loved your viewpoint. I really appreciate it, and it's so nice to see people, who are thinking the way you are thinking. It really made me so happy. I really want to, commend you, applaud you, give kudos to you. Brilliant. Yeah, so my thought on parenthood again I'm talking about the evolution part of it, where people say that, oh, animals, the female takes care of their child, and the male does not take care of the child. His work is only to spread his seed and have the best possible children, and the fittest of them all will survive, all of that. So again we come back to that evolutionary part, that why are we comparing ourselves to the animal kingdom, and why the rules that apply to the animal kingdom, why do they have to apply here as well? The other part that I want to talk about is that I think it is, the reason that people give a prior, or they say that the primary responsibility of caregiving to the child, for child care or taking care of the child would be the mothers, is because, oh, it is so natural. The nature has made your body in such a manner. She is the one who's providing him with the food also. She produces the milk, so she's providing him with sustenance. She's the one who's supposed to take care of the child. That's not true. She can very well say that I'll feed the child, rest of the stuff you do. There's nothing wrong. There is absolute, she's saying I'm providing him sustenance, I'm providing him with what he will require to be big and strong, but you take care of the rest of the stuff. So I don't think there's anything wrong in that. But have we come to that position where this conversation happens in relationships? I'm not sure. I don't think that is the case. There are okay, so I'll admit something. I'm a single woman. I've not, but I do meet people for having a relationship, starting a relationship, being in a relationship. I do meet people for that. I meet single men, and many a times the questions that come up are similar. Now here I would like to quote one of the people that I feel they have a if not the perfect relationship, then a very good working relationship, and that is my sister and her husband. I have actually seen both of them take a step back from their careers when my nephew was very young. They decided that both of us will not take up managerial positions which will keep us away from our home for longer periods of time. They remained in a lower position at a position in their career where they said that I'm not going to opt for advancement in my career right now because I have the responsibility of a child. I have to be there at home to take care of the child. So it is not only about teaching the child right values or things. It is also about putting your career ambitions on hold so that you are physically present, you are there to provide that security to that child in his life when he needs it the most. That is when he's the youngest. When you are around more at that point of time, I believe you both are contributing equally to his development. He knows that he can count on both his parents to be to prioritize himself or herself when he needs or he or she needs it. So that is very important too. So when we talk about parenthood, it's not only about changing diapers and nappies. It's also about whether, you are physically present. Do you take an interest in his life? Do you take an interest? What is my child doing? What is his current daily routine? How do I put myself into the daily routine? How can I make sure that I have a connection with my child? Many a times I feel, that, and this is very cliche, I feel, but, sons don't have a good relationship with their fathers. It's a cliche that the girl child has a better relationship with the father, the son has a better relationship with the mother. But why is that? Again, there is a gender difference between this relationship. Why can a daughter not have a good relationship with her mother? Why cannot a son talk to his father? Why is it that the father has to be present for only his daughter? He needs to be present for both his children, irrespective of their genders. So this is also something that we need to be, aware of, and we need to cultivate that. We need to cultivate this ideology where we feel that yes, both my children are important. Both of them have different needs because they are at a different age group, not because they are different genders, but because they are a different age. Now, if you have twins, then fine, they have similar needs. But if you are a different age group, a child could be 3 years old, the other child could be 10 years old, they have different, uh, I mean, a 3-year-old may not be so social as a 10-year-old. A 10-year-old will have lots of friends and they would want to spend more time with friends, go out and play. And a 3-year-old will be more clingy to you and they would want to, be together with the family. But see, again, this is just because of the age group. It is not because the gender is different. So that also we need to be very cautious about that, we are giving the child the requirement, the attention, the whatever he needs, that is provided. And not only provided, it is provided by both parents. So the child realizes that I can depend on these people. These are my families. You have stronger relationships. We get so caught up in all of these other things that these relationships are they just because you say this is my child does not make him your child. You have to work at that relationship, and that will work for even a mother and a father. Probably for a father more, because a mother has that connection that I've given birth to this beautiful human being. But a father does not have that connection, and the father may have to work harder at building that relationship and that connection. So that is also very important, I feel. So that's where a father needs to realize his importance and his responsibilities. And yes, I understand the work may be difficult and it is irritating. Changing diapers at 3 a.m., nobody would want to do it. But I think that act itself creates a bond. It creates, the child starts recognizing that person. He starts depending on the father also, that there will be another person. If my mother's not there, my father will be available for me. And that is very, very important, I feel. Gunjan, back to you.
Thanks, Additi. Neha, your views quickly.
Yes, thanks. So hearing Ankit's point of view, I was very happy that he has, realized very soon. And Ruchira also made her point clearly. Now, in my case, I would say my bad. The same thing happened when I had taken a break and my husband was not getting any sleep. And, I suggested, okay, you sleep because you have to go out. I'll be taking care. I am at home. So I put myself in the sacrifice and good. I am not sorry for that, but I know that was a mistake. But at that point, I had no other option, and that was my belief. Having said that, I was raised by both. I mean, my even equal responsibility was taken by my father and mother, but I had somehow that belief that, okay, if I am home, why not I give the other person a rest and take all the responsibilities by myself? So I guess I took every entire parenting responsibility on myself. Another point Ankit said was, when he would ask his girls when they grow up to bring, or the boys who follow the girls to bring them back home. Even I say the same thing. The only difference is I have two boys, so I have to be very careful. And I tell them that, look, girls are emotional. I have to tell them girls are emotional. It doesn't say that my boys are not emotional, but yes, girls are more emotional than boys. So do take care of their feelings. And I do keep in touch with him by being friendly. And you have to be in touch with your kids at any stage of life. So for me, parenting is both. It doesn't end with after some age. Okay, you are done with that. I've raised my kids. It doesn't end with that. At every different stage, parenting has different meanings, and both the parents, I mean the father and mother, have a different roles. So in this case, I as a mother have to ensure that my kid gets the emotional concept very clearly, as well as I have to be his friend at all the stages. And having said that, introducing the feminist part, I just said them that you have to give respect, not because they are, I mean, you have to respect everybody. Now, she's a female, you have to respect her. But if you're not getting respect back, that's you have to decide then what you have to do. So I think even sons have to be taught equally that yes, gender based, you don't have to give respect just because they are feminine, but you have to have respect for both the genders and decide on per particular situation. So I'm not an anti-feminist, but yes, you have to teach these days the boys also equality, because I feel the boys are also on the receiving end these days. Thank you.
Thanks, Neha. Ruchira, your thoughts?
See, I believe your parenting style evolves from the way you were parented in a major way. So, and of course, you have to change because the times are different, the scenarios are very different right now. So, if you have been given that confidence in yourself from the beginning, whether you're a male or a female, that you as an individual are important, you will automatically bring that into your parenting style. And your children will become confident individuals, regardless of whatever gender they are. So in parenting, I really believe that from day one, from the time the child is born, you need to keep on reinforcing this, that you are important, you are beautiful the way you are, the way you look. It's very important because we are a very visually based society. So you have to, and we have very preconceived notions of what a beautiful, good looking person is or what they should look like, whether they're a girl or a guy. So I really believe my parenting style involves keep on reinforcing in your children that you're very smart, that whatever choices you make are very good, and that you are perfect in whatever way you are. As parents, it is our responsibility to build up an individual who is non-judgmental towards others. So you have to accept people in every color, caste, creed, every kind of choice that they make. For me, as a parent, it is very important that my daughters do not judge anybody based on gender, definitely, based on choices, very important. And also, they should not have any expectations from any males. They have to grow up as equal partners in a relationship. You know, there are many women who hide behind being women too. So there is a reverse feminism also. I agree with Neha in this, that, you know, they expect, like at one point they will say that we are feminists, and at the same time they expect the husband to provide for them. Okay, they expect all kinds of comforts to be provided by the male in the house, which I don't think is right. Both partners should be equal contributors in everything. Another thing which I would like to point out is we don't have the right to judge a woman who has decided not to work. And I don't think this is, again, reverse feminism happening. It is everybody's choice. If a man decides to sit at home and take care of his children, I don't think you have a right to judge that person either. Both ways. See, as a couple, you work as a unit. It's the decision of a couple. It's a decision of two partners about what they want to do and how they want to parent their child. I don't think anybody has a right to make any judgments about that. Okay, having said this, the second thing which I would like to really bring into notice is the times are changing. Don't expect too much to change in one go, right? So if you come across somebody who is not a feminist, and most of the times these days it's the women who are not feminists, it's the women who are judging you. It's the women who are trying to put other women down. Like when I would go to work, say a month after having a baby, you're back at work already? How could you do this? I mean, who's taking care of the child? I've heard of this from Gunjan and from Neha also. So how are you managing? And then they actually congratulate me for being very good at managing both the house, children, and work. It's not like I'm doing it alone. You have to have it has to be a unit and a system working together. And with children, what really works more than talk is actions. If we are behaving in a certain manner, they will automatically learn from our behavior rather than, giving them long pravachans. I think your actions speak louder than words. So both the parents, the mother has to hold a self-respect, so does the father, and they both have to be respectful of everybody around them. Your children actually make you better human beings. They teach you to behave in a better manner, and you become a better version of yourself. So parenting is actually a two-way thing. It's them teaching you and rather than you teaching them, and it evolves over a period of time.
Thank you, Ruchira. Roshan?
Yeah, so I have to say that all ground has been already covered, and I have enjoyed listening to the new parents, the old parents, the not so much of parents, including myself. I was brought up by parents who are both working, and I'm from a very what do you say, neutral culture, which means we have less female feticide, we have less violence related to dowry, etc. But even with that, I could see that when both my parents would come back from work, it was my mother's duty to cook food, right? So when I started living on my own in the city, I would come back, from work at like 10:30, 11 at night, and every day I would have an existential crisis. Like, why do I get to cook food for myself? Can I just like have water and go to bed? So I used to ask my mother, like, how did you do this for decades and decades, taking care of all of us, doing your work. She's going to retire in the next year, and like having a job, cooking for all of us, taking care of us. So cooking is just an example, right? It's mundane, monotonous, and like now when me and my partner, when he asked me to make list for grocery, I find it insufferable. I mean, like, you're going to make me make the grocery list and blame me for missing an item in it. I get that it's a trap. So so there is inequality, and I feel like both parents or partners should be equally responsible for parenting. And as I said already, everybody has covered everything else, so that's about it.
Thank you, Roshan. So, like Roshan said, everybody covered all the ground, and I feel like I kind of agree with Ruchira and Neha on the fact that when we are being feminist, it's not about having saying कि नहीं तुम्हें तो ये करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि मैं feminist हूँ. तो वो it's not like that. It is like we work as a unit, and like Neha said, that she decided it was her choice that because her husband has to go to work and she's at home, she can rest later. She will do it, and this I can say it with confidence is because something that I do also. I take all the outside work because I just feel my husband won't be able to do it. It's nothing like, honestly, it's more like I feel I'm the better person to do the job. I have more confidence in myself. So it's like I will do everything that has to be done outside, whatever. And so it's just like I will do it. You don't do it. But on the other hand, since the day my son was born, cleaning him, or if he's sick and he's puking, my husband will just say, go away, because he knows I can't do those things to save my life. So he does that. Sometimes when like Ankit, I am also Kumkaran. I love to sleep. So when my son gets up in the middle of the night, which is quite frequent, my husband goes out with him because he knows that if you wake me up, there's no Shanti the next day at home. So, that's what I feel, that parenting is as a cohesive unit. You work as a unit and you do it. And I thank Ruchira for saying that I don't judge women for leaving their jobs, because people keep asking me, when are you getting back to work? And I'm like, I don't want to go back to work. Why do you want to send me to work? But that's like the thing, you're judged either ways. So, guys, moving on to the next thing, I'm combining two queries, or two, something that I wanted your views on. One was, do you think that gender stereotypes that prevail in our society are okay, or whether you should let them pass or you should correct them? And what does gender equality or gender neutrality mean for you? Also, adding on, do you think that books can bring about a change in the total scenario? So, Roshan?
Okay, I have a lot to talk on this because I want to say that because of weird gender stereotypes, I've suffered throughout my life. I'm gay and I came out to my family like 6 years back. While growing up, I've been told all my life, don't put your hand like this, play cricket. Even if I'm playing cricket, they'll say you run funny. This is a girl's thing, this is a boy's thing. If I play with my sisters, it's a crime. So I've suffered throughout my life, right? Even with now I'm living with my partner. So like, who's supposed to cook, who's supposed to clean, who's supposed to be earning more, who's supposed to be focusing more on the work. This is a trap, right? This stereotyping is a trap. So we have to that we already discussed, right? There has to be equal partnership. So the whole stereotyping of gender roles, including everything, right? What to wear, how you want to behave in public, what should be your expression, what kind of books you want to read. Like, while growing up, my parents would tell me that you spend more time in the library than outside playing with other boys. So too much of reading has like screwed your head. Because I start talking about science and logic and all that, as against my parents. They were not very bright. So so okay, yeah. So stereotyping is not good. So all those feminists who are, so when other people tell other people, right, women, like, you should not wear this, you should not be behaving like this. I get it. I get their frustration. Okay. So all these feminists who are coming front and burning bras, I get their anger. I totally get their anger. Okay. That is because all these years of heterosexist patriarchy is pounding on their head right now, right? Like, for no fault of theirs. So I get that. And I feel that the reading community, as a rule, is much more kinder, nicer. They are more understanding because they have read fiction, they have read non-fiction, they have gone through lived experiences. So they are more understanding to people's feelings. They understand bias, they understand prejudices. So I feel like books can change people's perceptions about things, but can it totally change a human being? I don't think so, because I know readers who are totally, they would read all kinds of things. They would read 100 books in a year, but still uh, they are not ready to accept people's choices in life. They're not ready to accept your viewpoints. Like, why can't we just agree to disagree, right? So that people are not okay with that. So I can be friends with a person on Facebook only if I agree to his views. I don't think so. We can agree to disagree on certain things, but then even with readers, there are many people who are I don't believe in right and left, but then it's that what that is. They call me leftist, and they identify themselves as rightists, and it's like the books didn't help in this case. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks.
Thanks, Rosun. So, Neha, your views on this?
So thanks, Gunjan. This is a very interesting question, gender-based roles. Personally, I don't think there should be gender-based roles because nowadays everything is changing. And being a woman, I like investing, I like driving, I like taking care of the finance, and about everything outside. Also, I do the work, and I think as we have to set example for our kids. So if even if there is a bulk change or anything else that a typical male should be doing it, I attempt it, and I even try to do it. So it is, even my kids should not feel that these roles are particularly for women, or some are not supposed to do it, or even I am to take charge of this. So having said that, I've taught my kids that there are no gender based roles. So the best example is, even my elder son likes to cook. So doesn't mean he will cook, he'll become a cook, or he will take a role of a non-dominant person. It's just that he likes it, and it is a good thing, because you should be knowing cooking, cleaning, or whatever. These are not gender-based roles. This is something that you need to survive. And I think not only males, females also, because I've heard many parents, I'm not teaching my girls cooking because they can get maids and all. But no, that shouldn't be the case. Teach them to cook, not to feed others, but to feed themselves in time when they are, supposed to have those basic skills. So do not indulge in gender roles while teaching to your kids. And as Ruchira said, we have to set an example. I do believe setting an example is very important. So I think I am setting a right example by taking charge of the house, or doing outside bank related activities, investments, or taking charge of finance, filing my income tax rates. So yes, there's nothing that women cannot do, or nothing that male cannot do for that matter. Having said that, books help. Yes, books really do help. And as Rosun said, you may or may not change after reading a book, but yes, you do get the tips, and you get, okay, I should have done that. Like in this book, it was clearly written, you shouldn't be a single mother unless by circumstance or by choice you are a single mother. So I think if I would have read that earlier, I would have got some insights, and maybe I would have asked more help from my partner. I'm not saying he did not offer, but it was, again, I take the responsibility. I took everything upon myself. So gender based roles, I clearly do not believe. And books, I wish this book would have come to me at a proper time. That's about it.
Thank you, Neha. Additi?
Yeah, hi. So yes, gender-based roles, they bother me. They do bother me, not because I'm a woman, but they bother me as a human being, because I feel as a human being, everybody has aspiration, has a goal, has some ambition in their life, and gender roles try to stifle that or modify that. Now a very simple example would be, I like to cycle. I used to be a very, very, enthusiastic cyclist in Delhi. In Bombay, it's a little, on the down low. But in Delhi, when I was a very enthusiastic cyclist, I used to cycle almost every day in the morning. I met a person, and he was asking me, he was very surprised with my cycling. And the question that he posed me was that if there is a function in the house, you as the daughter-in-law in the house, would you prefer to go on your cycling trip, or would you give preference to the function in the house? Now that question would never be posed to a guy, and I found that so offensive that I don't think I continue talking to that person. But I'm just saying that that kind of mentality, or that kind of outlook is very, very prevalent. Cycling, and if you see, even in my cycling community, slowly and steadily more women have started cycling. But seeing a cyclist on the road while cycling, it's a huge thing. We get excited about it because we're like, oh, more people are coming into it. So even for activities like leisure activities, we have a specific gender assigned to something, and that's not, I do not like to lead my life like that, or I would not like to have that pressure on me that, oh, just because I'm a woman, I cannot cycle, or I cannot go on a cycling trip. So that is something which really bothers me. The question that you posed about books, I would say yes, they have an impact, and no, they don't have an impact. Why? Because yes, they have an impact if you actually choose to read the book. But if you actually say, oh, it's a feminist manifesto, I'm not a feminist, I'm against feminism, I don't understand what are these women trying to do, burning their bras, they will not go ahead and read the book. So that is, as long as you're picking up the book, that's fine. But if you're not picking up the book because you have a certain bias towards the author or to the subject matter, then yes, that book will not impact you at all. So yes, I do feel that books can impact you, but people have a choice of picking up that book, reading the book, right? If you make an active decision of not picking up the book just because you are not okay with the subject matter, or you do not want to open your mind, or you're closed minded about a particular subject matter, that book will not help you because you've not read it, you've not given it a chance. So that's my viewpoint.
Thanks, Additi. Ruchira? And can Ankit go after you? So
you know what? Gender roles. This is a very touchy subject with me, and it really gets my back up. Because whenever we've been in a scenario where couples are partying together or we are meeting friends over, anti-wife jokes, okay? And any jokes in which women are put down, and those stereotypical things that are, your wife doesn't allow you to do this, and your husband has to have a say in this, it always gets my back up, and I'm ready to fight like a cat at that time. And people have told me, you know what, don't voice your opinion so strongly, and it doesn't become you somebody who's as educated or as poised as you. It doesn't come across as something nice. I don't get it. I really don't get it. At one point, and these are people who are readers, and these are people who are educated, and but they still continue making these anti-women jokes, and they still talk about women in a derogatory fashion. If you're doing that in front of me, God knows what you do behind our backs. So it's very, you know what, we are living in a bubble, Gunjan. We are all living in a bubble in which we interact with people who are of a similar attitude, similar educational qualification, probably similar mindset, and many of them are really faking it. So when we're talking of feminism, when you're having a casual conversation, that's when you actually come to know what somebody is actually thinking of. And I feel we need more women to speak up for themselves, that not to be afraid of what everybody is going to think of you. Okay, and it's the women who have told me that, you know, don't voice your opinion so strongly. You'll be mistaken over here. So what if I'm mistaken? I'm not here to make a point for myself. I'm standing up for everybody there. Because see, my mother taught me to always stand up for myself. My grandmother was independent. I've had a very good female backing throughout my life, and I've had a very good male backing. That's very important too. My father's always promoted us to speak for ourselves. My grandfather's always promoted us to do that. So I feel we need to speak out against inequality wherever we see it. Okay, and you should not be afraid to do it. Another thing is books. I think books really change the way you think, because you can't go everywhere. You can't have every experience. So maybe it doesn't change you 100%, but it does subtly alter your perspective about certain things. Like, I can't go to every country in the world. I can't have every kind of friend, and I can't have every kind of experience. So I think that's where books play a major role. You might not even realize it, that you are getting changed because of what you've read.
Well, yes, gender roles are there in our society, and at the present situation, you know, they will not go away so soon. But we should not give up. Like, since all of us agree that we are feminists, so we get angry at times with people who are not feminists. And like Additi said, she stopped talking to that particular person because of his question. See, we need to understand they are not feminists because of a female in their family. Because of a male in their family, they are not feminists. They have not been taught like that they should, you know, not ask such a question. They should not think like that. So instead of getting angry, we should make them understand. See, this is what one should think like, this is what one should be. Because if we want to go to a situation, you know, where everybody respects both the genders equally, then people who are like that, they need to make them understand that you have to respect both the genders. And I won't say it is somebody's mistake that person is not a feminist. As I mentioned earlier, our festivals, our religion, our books, all of them are written in such a way that we are 99% not feminist. As I said, Rakhi as a festival, as I said, our marriage vows, all of them mentions that males are more stronger than the females, and our mothers are agreeing to it, our grandmothers are agreeing to it, and they are telling us the same thing also. So we need to understand that these gender inequalities are there in the society, but instead of getting angry, we need to talk about it, we need to make them understand, and we need to start solving these problems right from the beginning. As a child is born in our house, or as now, for example, a teacher, I have now, since these online schools are going on, I see these kids are so irritating. A teacher has said something right at the beginning of the class, don't do this, they will keep on doing it throughout the class. So I feel how irritating these kids are, that they don't understand such a small thing. In the same way, we need to understand how these non-feminist people are. You know, they don't understand in one go. We need to make them understand gradually, and then this thing will go off. The other part, do books play a role? I feel, of course, they do play a major role, because you're creating a different You're creating a different situation altogether when you're reading a book. You are in that particular place, or you're in that particular situation in a virtual manner when you're reading a book. Whereas, as the writer also mentioned, going to school is not so important than reading a book is, because in a school the teachers have to follow a particular syllabus all the time. If they try to go out of the syllabus, it will not work in the school scenario. So I think reading books is very important. It really improves the way you think. It really changes the way you are living your life also. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankit and Ruchira. Like everybody said, sorry,
Yeah. So, not disagreeing with what Ankit just said, but taking an example of a heteronormative case, right? If there is a man and a woman, and if the responsibility of educating the man also goes to the woman, then I think we are disadvantaged, because when we are talking about equality, you're adding extra load to the other person, right? That's not an equal partnership. So I mean, we are watching the same movies, we are watching the same news, we have the same internet. Why does the responsibility of educating yourself being given to somebody else? So that's problematic, because when a teacher is teaching a student, he or she is being paid for that, right? So that's the job. But structurally talking in our society, why is it that if we are going to educate, why do we have to educate boys on the street? Like, if I'm a mother and there are boys in the street, why is it my responsibility to educate them, right? Because it's problematic that way. This is what I feel.
got your point, Roshan. So I agree. It's not. I feel we cannot change people. People can only change when they are ready to change. So I agree over there. You can show them the path. It's like how they say you can take the horse to the water, but you cannot make the horse drink water unless it wants to. So I agree, and like we all agreed on the fact that we don't really like gender stereotypes in any which ways, and we have all suffered through them. Like Roshan's shared, like I have heard throughout my life that you've got a very manly voice. Now I don't know how manly voice and others are differentiated. Also, I think books help because after I met Roshan, honestly, I wanted to know how life was for a gay man in India, and I picked up a book and I read something in that book that really affected me, made me feel very ashamed of myself. Simple slurs that we use, like I've used it for an office colleague, I've used it like, kya ladkiyon jaise karta hai, he's so effeminative and then I just realized that that is not somebody that I want to be. Even if it's used commonly, this is not the person I want to be. So in my head, I have already decided that these are the things that I will atone for because the book did change me. It made me understand the plight of somebody else. I walked in that person's shoes without, I'll work on my atonement like the way I see how to atone for those things. But yes, books definitely can change you if you are open and ready for the change. Ruchira wanted to add.
People are being judged for when they're different from what society considers as normal. People are also judged when they are probably, I don't know how to put this in a mild manner. I think Gunjan and I have spoken about this often enough. If you're considered as good looking or if you're considered as attractive, you're considered dumb. You're constantly proving yourself that I have a brain, that I am a professional, that I am capable of intellectual things also. So I've seen this happen very often with women, and men are not judged for their looks. It's considered an advantage. For women, it's a disadvantage. You're not taken seriously enough if you are attractive looking.
As I guess everybody has um, said what they had to say about this. So next I want to ask is that can you be married being a feminist? Because a lot of people have this idea that uh, that if you're a feminist, you will not want to marry, you will not want to have kids. So do you think marriage and feminism go hand in hand and can go in hand in hand? Additi? Unmute yourself, Additi, you're muted. Okay, sorry. Ruchira, can you go ahead, please? She can't hear.
Yes. So, can you be married to a feminist? It's a work in progress. I've seen many unmatched couples, and Ankit and I still have disagreements on many points. It's not like it's a very easygoing thing, and I don't identify myself as a feminist. I identify myself as a compassionate and empathetic human being more than a feminist. So, you know what? Males are generally brought up to be unemotional, like they should not be showing their emotions very easily, and it's not a very masculine thing to do. And they've seen their mothers compromise on many situations, and they've seen their fathers put their foot down in many things. So it's a very dicey thing to answer. Actually, you have to be receptive for it. That's what I feel. That. Being married to a strong woman needs a stronger man, if you get what I mean. Just not stronger physically, but stronger emotionally. To be a man who is in touch with his feminine side would be the biggest asset in today's world. You're calling them metrosexual men, you're calling them so many other names, But I feel that men also need to be given that leeway to be in touch with their feminine side. Like somebody needs to be kind to them and tell them, like, it's not wrong if you want to cry. It's not wrong if you want to talk, and you can talk. They find it so difficult to talk. They find it so difficult to express their insecurities, and they find it, women have an upper hand at this. Like, we can talk, and we can talk of each other's ears off about what troubles we have, real or preconceived. But I feel it takes both the people to see each other as human beings. And even the woman should not judge the man for showing his weaknesses. So it's very important. If you laugh at a guy for crying in front of you, or if you laugh at a woman also for expressing her emotions in front of you, it's not work. Thanks.
Thank you. Additi, can you go now? Is it working? She can't hear me still. Neha, would you mind?
Sure. So as Ruchira said, it's a very difficult question. Marriage and feminism go together or not? But I feel marriage and feminism, in fact, after marriage, you may, start feeling that, yes, I have to be assertive on these points and I have to be assertive on those points. So it starts with maybe, that starts more because you're interacting with a different, a different gender, or you are interacting with a partner as such who has been brought up in different situation. He may or may not be a feminist, but you have that interaction daily, and that makes you evolve as how your relationship would be. So I think if you're married to a feminist, it's very good, but even the men, if there's respect in the marriage, I think the men in the marriage should not have a trouble with a feminist, because she the woman is just expressing herself that this is what she feels. It may or may not be feminist or anti-feminist, but the men have to understand their point of view also, and over the years they can also evolve. So yes, marriage and feminism do go together. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha. Rosun?
Yeah, so I think that this is a very easy question because it's also about choice, right? Feminism is also about choice. So if you want to get married and you want to be a staunch feminist, then why not? And in all our assumptions, we have gone ahead with the assumption that like the female partner is a feminist, and the male partner is the person who's opposing that. What if it is the reverse? What if the husband is pro feminism and the woman is like one step behind him, as in she wants to as Ruchira said earlier, hide behind traditions and follow traditions blindly and be not a feminist, right? Or be not go with the times. So it's a very easy answer, like why not? Like if you I was just talking with my friend yesterday as well, right? Sometimes things work and sometimes things don't work. So like these are I feel like these are like you know different topics, and it can be it's a yes.
We have Additi back from the dead, or back from the land of no voice. Please.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm single, and I think that's primarily because of my radical views. So yeah, my vote goes to no. You can't be a feminist and get married. Sorry.
Ankit, your views.
Uh, See, as I said earlier, yes, you can be a feminist and you can be a feminist and be married. To be very frank, I'm a more feminist father than a feminist husband. Now, there are circumstances around it. Okay, it's not life at present. As I would say, being a feminist, it's not very easy, or it's not a straight path. I have to take care of many things around me. I have to take care of a world which is around me. It's not just that I can walk straight and be a feminist. Like being a son, I've seen, as I told you earlier, when my mother was having her Karwa Chauth ka vrat, I would say I was a feminist because I was a part of that vrat when I started understanding things. But yes, when I was not understanding them, I was not a feminist. So now, once I got married, once I was a husband for the first time, I may not be a feminist then. But when I started understanding things, I was a feminist husband also. But right from the beginning, I'm a feminist father. So, what I would say, it's not a straight situation. There are many circumstances to it, and we need to understand them, we need to learn from them, and then walk that path of feminism or being a feminist. This is my take on it. And
Thank
it's not complicated.
Thank you, Ankit. So I love the way Ankit is being so honest. Ruchira, koi डर नहीं है तेरा उसको. He's like more feminist father than husband. I love that part. So, um, like
It's a,
I feel,
it's a work in progress. Okay, no marriage comes with being perfect. It doesn't work that way. Nobody is going to be 100% feminist, and you can't. No female is going to be 100% feminist either. So he has to be honest because that's the way it is. We can't, pretend what to be what we are not.
No, but I feel that what Ankit said, that usually happens with men. They become more feminist when they are fathers to girl childs.
so like I said, but I love his honesty. That's very nice of him. That's so. But like everybody said, it's like I will go that feminism and marriage can go in hand in hand. My husband married me knowing I have very strong views, very opinionated, and that I have verbal diarrhea also, that I will just speak whatever I have to speak and not worry about the consequences. So with all those things, and I don't know how it works, because we both have very diverse views, like if my son wants to wear a frock, I'm like, ha, pehen le beta. He's like, what are you doing? So I just told him, I said, you don't want him to wear it, you don't make him wear it, but I want him to wear it, so I'll make him wear it. So that works that way. So my thing is that he realizes that this is where it stops and he has to take a step back, because I don't know if he truly is a feminist or not. He would say he's a feminist, but like Ruchira said, a work in progress. We are talking about equality all the time, and he knows that it is something that really matters to me. So we have worked around it. He gets it, like, but it's so imbibed in the Zoom classes. Like Ankit said, I've been watching my son's Zoom classes, and the stereotypes creep in there also. It's very irritating, but I get it. And somebody might think, why is it irritating to this woman so much? But it is. I can't help it. It's like a fly in my teacup or something like that. It's very irritating. So, but we need to change. We need to get this conversation going. We need to change it. Slowly and steadily, but I wish that once our kids are older, they don't have to have these stereotypes कि लड़की हो तो ये नहीं कर सकते, लड़का हो तो ये नहीं कर सकते.
ये भी तो नहीं होना चाहिए ना कि मैं लड़की हूँ तो मैं ये सब काम नहीं करूँगी तू ही कर. That is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing reverse feminism happening. That girls are becoming so, they have misconstructed feminism into something which is like, I don't know. They don't think of gender equality. You can't blame the male today for thousands of years of oppression. That's not the guy who's done it.
I agree with you, Ruchira, because even I have a feeling seeing certain things, like have had anti-dowry laws and everything. I feel if the law has become stricter for people who have demanded dowry or anything, it should become equally strict for people who have false cases filed against people. The same for rape laws. Make them strict equally for both the genders. If somebody has raped, punish him. If somebody has falsely cried rape, besmirched somebody's identity, his character, have a equal level of punishment, because in both cases, be it dowry, rape, or whatever, a person is losing total control of his or her life. So have equal laws. Somewhere I feel laws are getting biased, and people are taking some people are taking undue advantage of it. So I agree over there that that's what I said in the beginning. Feminism is about equality amongst all genders, not favoring one particular gender. So if we can move on, the, as a in particular in Indian society, not having a great knowledge of other societies, I've seen that we bring up our children to teaching them respect your elders, always listen to your elders, and we try to make them likable. That mostly if any elder tells you something, do that, don't argue, don't question. It's like more like we try to train them to be yes men, be likable. That is your biggest criteria. Be likable. माँ बाप की बात सुनो, अपने से बड़ों की बात सुनो, अड़ोसी पड़ोसी अंकल आंटी की बात सुनो. Don't argue back, don't answer back. So what do you all think? Does this need to change, or is it you feel a part of Bharatiya Sanskriti that we need to carry on forward, preserving our cultural heritage? What would be Sanskriti? Would it be cultural heritage, or would there be a better word? You all can help me with that. So
It's more of social conditioning, actually.
yeah. So Ankit, would you like to go first? Is Ankit okay to go first?
Ruchira, go first.
So, I am a very bad example for this social conditioning because I was brought up to speak my mind. And my mother faced a lot of criticism for her way of bringing me up, because relatives would come and tell her that, look at the way your daughter speaks to us. She has no respect for us. She goes ahead and says whatever she thinks is right. For the longest period of time, I've had, and my mother would always tell me, don't stop because of anybody. Let them say anything. You put your point of view across, but do it respectfully. Okay, you lose the essence of. I've realized this, that being the loudest and it's no excuse for putting somebody down, and it's no excuse for being rude. So I have been taught this, and I am trying to teach this to my daughters too, that you don't have to respect somebody exclusively because they are older than you. You have the right to question. You have the right to be asking for logical answers for everything, and I try to give them logical answers for whatever traditions and culture that we are following. I try to tell them the story behind it too. So I want them to respect our culture, but I also want them to understand that we are a thousands of years old culture, and everything that has come, every behavior pattern that we follow has a certain scientific reasoning behind it. It involves a lot of study on my part. I have to go into the depth of it, understand it, and then teach it. But at the same time, as a mother, I feel that they have to behave in a manner which is not insulting and yet questioning, and maybe they can extract the best out of everybody by toning down the way they do it. Something which I didn't do, and I regret it. But you can tone it down, and you can definitely voice your point of view.
Sure. Thanks, Ruchira. Ankit, would you like to go next, or
Yes, I'll do that. See, you may not be judgmental, but this world is judgmental. Okay, and it is especially more judgmental for a female. So when a female raises her voice or puts her point across, so people tend to judge her more than a male doing that. So what I would do, what I would teach my daughters is, if somebody is not listening to you or is not agreeing to your point, make it sure that you put across your point of view. But if that person is not agreeing to it or not understanding, don't argue. You just move ahead. That person is stubborn, that person is like that, accept that fact and move ahead. Don't get bothered, or don't make, give that extra effort to try that person should understand you. He might not, he will not, or she will not. So just, I won't say that you should put across your point with force, or argue on it. Try it once. If it is not happening, then move ahead, so that you don't come across as a person who's arguing, or who is not giving respect, or being judged in a wrong way, which you are not. So be more political about it, I would say.
So, Additi, go next.
Here I would just like to say that yes, I do think that we need to start teaching the part that you mentioned, that the likable part. I think I am a people pleaser, and I say yes to things which I should be saying no to, and that's a major bane of my existence. So yes, if that was something that was if I was taught that, if I was given the, I don't know, I would not blame my parents, but to a certain extent, I would say that yes, that's the conditioning that we've been given, that, you don't speak out, you don't say no, you say yes, and, you try and, help out the person. If he's asking you to do something, you help them out, or, you be helpful. So I think, we have to learn how to say no. We have to learn how to say no politely, and that will really really help us in detangling our relationships, detangling our lives, making it more simple for ourselves and not complicating matters. And I also, not only saying no, I feel that the consequent part to it is that you should be a good recipient of a no as well. If I can say no to something, I should also be accepting of a fact when somebody says no for me. If I make a request, I should accept that, because when I'm asking something, I am giving a 50-50 chance to that person to say yes or a no. So I should be willing enough to accept that no also. I should also say that yes, I accept your no, I accept your decision of giving me a negative response in this manner. So yes, I do believe that that's a very important part of our upbringing and our conditioning, and it's something that we really need to focus on.
Roshan?
So I feel that a child should be taught, or should be educated in the ways to have a polite conversation. A child should be asked to allowed to agree, disagree. He should be given that platform, he or she. But I don't think it's the job of the kid to be likable. So, in the garb of likability, what happens is we tend to, for many children who are, individualistic, right? They have their own opinions. Like, I used to write poems when I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, but that was considered to be weird. Like, so automatically I become this weird child, right? Just because the adult in front of me did not have the capacity to understand my head, right? So why is it my fault or my duty to be likable to someone else? So I'm not being rude, I'm not being antisocial, I am being polite. I have the capacity to hold a conversation. Beyond that, it's up to you. Like, you want to like me, like me. You don't want to like me, that's my individuality. So all the best.
Thank you. Neha, you're
Yeah. So I like the way Ruchira said that she voiced her opinion and was being labeled rude. So even I tend to get away with that, because when I have strong opinions, I do tell them, and then I like to. Why is not the the other person understanding? But then I realized over the years that the other person doesn't have to agree with me, and he can have an opinion of himself. Having said that, as a parent, I am not teaching my kids, because today's kids have a different opinion, and both my sons do not fit in that. I am doing this because I want to be likable. and even many questions, like you said about heritage, I am being questioned. So Ruchira also says that she has to do her study. Even I have to do the study, but even then I'm being questioned. So then I give up and ask them, you do your own googling, you do your own research and form an opinion and come back to me, we will argue on that. So I have no other words to say to this, because today's kids have their own opinion, and they do not blindly follow that, okay, this is correct, or what mom says is correct, or what dad says is correct, or this has to be followed, or logic has to be, I mean, the customers have to be followed. So they have their opinion, but I also teach them to be honest, and if you don't like it, say it verbally. At the same time, as Additi said, accept. If the other person has a different opinion, accept it, learn that they have a no, and move on. Don't try to change the other person, accept it and just move on. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Neha. I love the fact that Neha, Ruchira, Roshan, we have something in common where, like, because of speaking out, we were called rude or something. I had to feel like Battamiz would come in my bio. First thing would be like Battamiz ladki, have it tattooed on my hand, like Mera Baap Chor hai, that kind of a thing tattooed on my hand, Battamiz ladki. So I get it, because when you're opinionated, people assume, like, my parents never stopped me from having an argument. Like, it was like some guest has come, somebody speaking, and if I decide that, okay, I don't understand or I don't agree and I want more data, I would keep questioning, and they never stopped me. So for me, and also I feel I'll teach my children to be a child to be polite, to be courteous, but respect, you earn it, and you earn the respect. That is, my child can be courteous, my child can be polite, but respect is something that you learn it. And I don't like the point where people say कि बड़े लोगों से बहस मत करो because they're elder to you, they cannot do wrong. Sorry, the elders do wrong. In our society, kids are getting sexually abused, and it's the elders who are sexually abusing them. So the elders are not perfect. So that does not work. So I agree with you all when you all say that. Um, Moving on, and I think I would like to know that in today's scenario, there's a huge controversy going about the LGBTQ community getting the right to have, like, marriage getting legalized. I have been unable to understand that when you did away with the law, you made it, you said it's no longer illegal. Then why don't they get the same rights as the rest of us? It's quite immensely stupid for me. But what do you all think about it? Do you all think that what has been termed as a third gender or whatever, don't they deserve to have equal rights as the rest of us? So
Yeah, hi. So in this, I feel that yes. See, what I had felt was that, see, yes, they should have equal rights. That is no questions about it. Lesbian, gays, all of that, that is their personal choice. It does not affect me in any manner when they are coming to work, when they are with me while I'm doing some leisure activity, anywhere. It does not matter. These things don't matter. I will associate with that person at a human level. I will associate with him as a human being. I will not associate with him about what his preferences are. The only thing that I was worried about was that for transgender people, if they are uncomfortable being stereotyped as a woman or as a man, then shouldn't we have like separate facilities for them? Facilities in the sense that, say, supposing a washroom. Now if they feel that they are uncomfortable going in the male washroom, they are pushed into the female washroom. So shouldn't we have like a separate facility? But then I guess that's another way of discriminating against them. So I'm not sure how do I want to take this particular point. The other thing, I have taken an example of a washroom. Similarly for prisons. Now in prisons also you can have transgender people. Now how do we want to tackle that? Do we want to define them? Do we want to segregate them? Do we want to show a different, have a separate space for them? I feel if they are feeling safe and secure, then probably that should be done, because their safety and security is more important. But at the same time, if they feel ostracized or targeted, then that probably could create a problem. So yeah, I'm a little worried about that. So for, I mean, the only the only community in that whole LGBTQ spectrum that I worry about is for transgender people. The other people, they are human as us, and they have every other right that we have. And I don't understand the big deal about providing them marriage rights. They should be allowed to marry whoever they feel like. If I have a choice of marrying whoever I feel like, they also have a right of, they have that freedom to do as they please in their life. Why should they just be forced to live in with people and hide their relationship status? Why shouldn't they celebrate their relationship? Why shouldn't they come out and openly accept somebody important in their life, with the consent of the community and their family and their friends? So I have no issues with that. The only thing that I was worried about is the point that I mentioned. Thanks, Gunjan.
Thanks, Additi. Rosun, would you go next, please?
I feel like the headlights are on me right now. So yeah, I mean, as Aditi mentioned, can you guys hear me? Okay, so as Aditi mentioned, gay, straight, posh, we're all human beings, right? So we need to have that choice. So tomorrow, if I decide that I don't want to marry my partner, that's totally my choice. But I should have that option legally, because right now I'm living with my partner, but that does not mean that, we can jointly buy property. It does not mean that if he goes into coma, I can sign for him. So many things, right? When my company has annual events, has parties, your legal spouse will get invited, not mine, because he's not my legal spouse, right? So a lot of things, right? So yes to that.
Thanks, Rosun. Um, Ruchira?
I just have one question. Are they allowed to pay taxes? So, if you're taking their money, if they're allowed to pay taxes, and if you're considering them as human beings worthy of contributing to running your country, what right do you have to deprive them of every other right? I think that's it.
That's a valid point. Neha, your views, please.
Yeah, so I really, while listening to Roshan, I really feel we are privileged in the sense we don't even have to think about these basic questions that Roshan actually faces, like he said in the company that he has to bring or something. I literally disagree with the fact that, LGBT has to have a special privilege or something. They have to have every right or every other right that we are all having as a woman or a male. They are also humans, and as Ruchira said, they are to be treated equally. So, but yes, Aditi also pointed a few questions which would be difficult to implement, but in the long run, I think these are questions to be addressed to, and nobody is taking them on priority because even the LGBT community does not, speak out as frequently. I've seen Roshan also say this because everybody does not want to come out in the open and being ridiculed or criticized. But I wish there could be more persons like Roshan. I have not come across many of my friends, but yes, I'm really happy to be associated with Roshan. And as a human being, he has some really high standards, and the views and thoughts also are very feministic, not only feministic but very mature, emotionally mature. So I wouldn't judge any of them on just their sexual preference or something. Thanks.
Ankit, your views, please.
Of course, without any doubt, they should be given all the rights which all of us are having, which all other human beings are having. And what Aditi said, all those points about a separate washroom and separate jail, it's needed. I think that would really help. And and what I would say on a positive note, since six of us are talking about it, there are many more around the world who are talking about it, and things are getting discussed, and it is improving day by day, I would say. Yes, when it was taken negatively, those people at that time have had a difficult life or difficult times, but things are changing and it is changing towards good, I would say. It is being accepted and it will take, I would say it would take it some time more, and then things would be very good and normal for them also.
Thank you, Ankit. So, I feel what Aditi said is, if the government wants to work it, they can have they keep making so many committees. Why not make a committee of the LGBTQ community? Ask them what they want, what they feel would be right for them, and then work on it. But the right to choose your partner, the right to get married, the right to getting invited to any office parties, that is their right. And I don't understand, like usually I've seen companies now have gone to the extent of writing that get your significant other or get your partner instead of writing spouse, which is a good sign of changing times and which we can adopt very easily also. So I usually
Women have started voting 50 years back, and we constitute half the population of this world. So, if you're expecting changes to happen very soon, it's optimistic but delusional, is what I feel. So, we have to have our patience, and people who are enlightened, it's their duty to spread their views so that at least the next generation doesn't become like this, to make life better for others. So let's take it in. I'm sure it's good to be positive about it, but let's take it with a pinch of salt. It's not going to happen very fast, and it's people like us who can probably make it happen in the near future.
I agree with Ruchira. We'll have to bring the change. So that then I feel like when the next Pride parade happens or the next protest is led for the rights to have these basic human rights, we all can also be a part of it. It does not have to be only the LGBTQ community. As humans, then it's our duty that we are standing right next to them and saying that they deserve it, because then only the change will come. If they are the sole voices fighting for themselves. And actually I have a problem with the word coming out also. I never had to go and shout from the rooftop now that I'm heterosexual or whatever my sexual preference is. So why does somebody else need to do that? I don't understand. So my sexual preference is my thing, and in India we are very particular ना, sex के बारे में बात नहीं करनी है, कमरे के अंदर होने वाला काम है, don't even kissing in public is not allowed. So why do you need to know somebody's sexuality? Just give everyone the right to. And actually it's wrong to us also. I should have the right to choose my partner. If imagine, I did not want to get married. I wanted to be not get married, and I wanted to stay with Additi. Though maybe we would have been, yeah, don't look happy about it. No. So, and we did not have any sexual thing going for us, but if we just wanted to live together, then after, if something happened to me, I would have wanted my, Aditi to be my get all the stuff legally. She should not have to have fight with it, right? So it's not about only the LGBTQ community. Even as just like for all of humanity, the law needs to be. It's my decision. If I'm an adult to vote, I am an adult to choose who benefits from my earnings, who I want to take where with me, who I want to live with, who I want to sleep with. None of your business. How does the government decide that? So no, not very happy.
Again, see, there's another very big aspect which I noticed going ignored over here. What about the protection for these people also? Like a lot of them are in abusive relationships as well. As a woman, I am far more protected by law than any person who's from the LGBTQ community. And it is only because our laws do not permit them to get married and does not give them the same rights of a live-in relationship that a heterosexual couple gets. So they also need to be protected because I think they are abused more than anybody else. Rosun could probably enlighten us more.
Sure.
Yeah, so we are at the gate right now, right? Protection will come after you're recognized, right, as valid citizens. So I think that's, as you said, it will take time, and even in the West, the stone wall happened, and then domestic partnership happened, and legal marriages happened, and I think we're clearly decades behind that. So yeah, it should happen. I'm very optimistic.
Oh, it will happen. Don't worry on that. So we'll quickly come towards the end. We have, I think, overshot a lot. So I just wanted to know, what do you all think about the body images that have been created, especially for women? There's now a certain body image that has been placed. That is the standard for beauty. That you have to look a certain way, and then only are you called beautiful. Be it your skin tone, be it your hair type, be it your figure. It has to be just what the industry has said. So, what do you all think about that? How does it, affect young girls, especially while they're growing up? How does it affect their confidence? Ruchira and Ankit, I will go ahead with you guys first because you are bringing up to your kids and you have a better idea of this.
Okay. So I've already spoken about body image and appearance. I think it. See, you know what? As in everything else, I don't think that you should be judging anybody. If a woman wants to dress up, it's not anti-feminist. Okay, I like dressing up. That doesn't make me anti-feminist. Feminism is a matter of your thoughts and your choices. It is a choice if you want to look good, whether you're male or female. Secondly, body image. I think as a society, we are extremely judgmental of anybody who's a little overweight and anybody who doesn't match our perception of fair skin. I was a swimmer as a child and I used to swim throughout the year and I used to be constantly tanned. And my own family members used to tell my mother, "Agar ye itni kali rahegi, to aage jaake isko kaun milega?" And my mother used to tell me that her physical fitness at this age is extremely important because it will see her instead for the rest of her life. And it's a habit that you inculcate in a child. So I believe that we should encourage children to think positively about their body, and at the same time, they should set very high standards of physical fitness for themselves, regardless of whichever gender they are. If we do that, it wouldn't matter. You have to understand this. It doesn't matter whatever body structure you have, it doesn't matter. You have to be fit. That's the most important thing. So that's my viewpoint about it. It doesn't matter what you look like. What matters is how you think.
What I would say is you should try to make a strong mental setup for your child. Your child should be strong enough to take any kind of criticism, any kind of comment or anything like that. Now, I'll take my example. I was weighing 92 kgs a few years back and I was very fat and I used to think I'm very cute. I'm not at all bothered about my weight and like really fat. But somebody just passed a comment, "Are you ashamed of yourself that you're so fat? A person sitting next to you is 15 years older than you and he's looking fitter." So I took that in a positive way. I didn't feel, of course, it was a dinner table. My family and other families were there and I was literally, the spotlight was on me. And the point was, are you not ashamed of yourself? I really felt ashamed. But then realizing that the person was concerned about my health. That's why that person said, what are you doing? You're so fat at this age. You're not healthy. I took that in a positive manner and I just turned the table around. I reduced my weight. I became healthier and I'm, happier with that weight loss now. So I would teach my daughter ki if you get such a comment, just realize that fact, that was that in a negative manner? Are you really unhealthy? And if not, you're healthy and somebody's talking about your looks, then think about it, that doesn't matter. If it matters, then do something about it. If it doesn't matter, then let it go. Don't bother about it then. But just your mindset should be such that you're strong enough to take that comment and react in a positive way always.
Neha, what do you have to say about this?
So I like the way Ankit took it in a positive manner, but not everybody would be taking it, especially the girls, when they are constantly judged after marriage, after marriage, after motherhood, after this stage, after that stage. अब आपको क्या करना है? Why are you, when I go for running or I do marathon, they ask me, कितना भागेगी अभी, तुझे क्या चाहिए और why do you need? अरे, it's my body, I know how to take care of it. So it's not called body shaming, but yes, as Ruchira said, how a person dresses up should be left on themselves. Now, even in office, I love to dress up. So even if it is office meeting or online or offline, when I'm working from home, I dress up the same manner that I do when I'm going to office. Okay, the dresses may be different, but I presentable way. So even then, why are you dressing up? You're not going to office. But I like to dress up. That impacts your confidence. And if dressing up, and it is not about looking good, it's just dressing up and increasing my confidence. I like the way to be presentable always, any point of time. I just don't want to be sloppy dressed. So dressing up is should be left to them. Body shaming should, yes, you have to teach your kids that you shouldn't take every comment personally, but you yourself should judge yourself how fit you are, rather than what age or what type of body you have. See, I have many friends who are fat, or no, I'm not calling fat, but more on the overweight side, but they are fitter. I mean, I have my this issues, BP issues or whatever, but so I tell them when they ask me, what is your secret? My secret is I have this body structure. I don't have to work too much on it, thank God, for my genes. But I would tell them that do not be ashamed of your body structure. If you have tried your best, try it. If you have tried your best, it's very good. If it's not going, at least you are fit. Place important on having a fitter diet, good food, and being fit. If you are fit and not having any problems, then I think that's the genes that you are having. So body shaming should not be a thing. Plus, even in the boys' case now, due to the lockdown, my younger son has increased some weight. So I just told him that you need to, reduce or tone down because you're not having any physical activity. So he has started that physical activity. So there's no need for body shaming, but you can take it in a very positive way and start making the changes. Obviously, you need a fit body for everything. I mean, this is the body is the alone which will be staying with you forever. So I believe in healthy eating and healthy body. Thanks.
Thanks, Neha. Roshan, would you go
Yes,
next?
quickly, two things. First, let's make this question gender neutral because I have known guys who are going into depression because people are not socializing with them on Tinder because they are not attractive. They want to pump in the gym, they want to spend money on dietitians, buying protein. So, it's a real thing for men as well, right? And I know that girls get judged more in a traditional context, but this is happening like in the area in the year of social media. Men are also equally worried about their looks. And second, self love. Like, I like to run, I like to keep fit. I eat, I like to eat healthy, but that's because it makes me feel good. It's not because somebody's going to feel that I am looking attractive or not. Like that, I'm too old to believe in that. And I also believe that the beauty industry is a scam, right? Like, what the hell is with the fair skin? What the hell is with the wet loss? I mean, if you're losing weight, then do it for the right reasons, right? You want to feel great, do it. You want to look better, do it. Not because somebody has told you, or you're meant to do it, or your dietitian is tricking you into it for because they have to get money from you. So all of that, yeah.
Thanks, Roshan. I really like that. Additi, your
Yeah, so I would like to bring other aspects also into it. It's not only about being, overweight or underweight. It's also about, as I think Ruchira mentioned, the fair skin is also a very, very obsessive part of it. I have many a times I think discussed this with Gunjan also. I feel women or men, anybody who is considered good looking, I think they just I would not like to be known as good looking, frankly speaking, because I feel people start, treating you very differently from the rest of the people. Good looking people get away with a lot of stuff, and they start taking, no, seriously, I really mean it. Good looking people get away with a lot of stuff, and I feel when they start getting away with a lot of stuff, they just stop working on themselves. If they stop working on themselves, you stop. I'm not talking about physically they know that their good looks have got them so far, so they have to maintain their good looks. It's not about the good looks, it's about, they stop, learning, they stop reading, they stop, they don't want to have intelligent conversations, they do not want to have an opinion on certain things. So that is what I mean by they just stop working on themselves. So I personally would feel offended if somebody calls me, I mean, yes, I have as a child, unfortunately, my sister was a little darker than me. She is elder to me. And there was always that comparison that, oh, your sister will have a problem and, she will not be able to get married. And irony of ironies, my sister's married for the past 20 years with a child. I'm the one who's single. So, yes. That has happened, but it was always a worry for my relatives and for my mother, that, oh, my daughter, my elder daughter, what will happen to her. But I feel that it was a boon to her because she worked on her mind, she worked on her, building her life, on her career, and it really worked. On the other hand, I think I, as a student, was not so studious because I was always told, oh, you're good looking, or oh, you're so fair, or whatever. So I feel that made me want to work less on myself. And now I feel offended when somebody would say that, oh, you're good looking. I would not want that as a compliment. That is not something that I have achieved personally. It is a Russian roulette that I just won. And I should just thank my, genes for it, but I didn't do anything to achieve it. You compliment. If on the other hand, if you tell me, oh, you have a great body, I would take that as a good compliment. People would say that, oh, you're sexist or anti-feminist, but I would say no, it is my achievement because I worked on it. You are complimenting my hard work, not something, some Russian roulette that I won, in the, grand scheme of things by becoming good looking. I worked on my body, and that's why you're complimenting me. That's why I will take that compliment. But if you're just saying that you're good looking, I'm sorry, I do not accept that as a compliment. So, yeah.
So, like, I guess again, everybody's on the same page, over here again. And I agree. I think we have very stereotypical ideas of beauty which should not be there. Like, people always want to give me straight hair. I don't know why. I don't want straight hair. I like these messy hair, and they suit me. So it suits the type of a person I am. So it's fine. And also for the fact that I have just come to the realization that words have a lot of weight. If somebody is going through a tough situation, your words can affect them a lot. So this is for giving free advice ki, do this, you will be healthier, do that. Just see if that person is in that zone to understand that advice. Everybody has a different mind frame at different times, so your words should not hurt them. And I have just decided that if people who are very worried about my weight or my not, or my being thin, my being fat, I'm like, you really don't matter. So I have lots of hair to block all the nonsense that comes in, so I can use them. That is why I never get them straight. They work. They block all the noise from coming in. So I think it's been a really good discussion. I've had such a good time with you all. So quickly, one line wrap up for everyone. You all want to go randomly, or you all want to go? Okay, let me go systematically. Additi, quickly, one line wrap up.
Yes. So the wrap up is everybody should read this book. People who have children, who don't have children, people who are feminist, non-feminist. I think everybody should read the book. Again, because I'm a feminist, I will not specify which genders. So all genders and everybody should read the book.
Okay. Ankit and Ruchira.
Everybody should read this book. Yes, of course, Aditi. And everybody should, teach your child to learn herself or himself first. That's it. Rest should come secondary always. And what I believe, what I would like to add to this is, when a child is going to school and when a child is born, till a age where there is a sexual difference coming in them, like till the puberty or so, there should not be any difference in the teachings given to them. Not a single difference. There should not be any discrimination. That's it.
I have to go ahead. Yeah. So my takeaway is that I would obviously recommend this book because I feel it's a very inspiring book. It's like a reinforcement of everything I have believed in personally. So I would recommend it to everybody. And it could act like a guide for somebody who's not very sure of how to bring up their sons and daughters.
Rosun.
Love the book, and I would say other people recommended, read it, and lovely discussion, and it was a great evening. Thank you all.
Neha.
Yeah, so obviously this book has to be read by all, and not only read, they should understand that feminism is not about only being opinionated or something. So I think highly opinionated persons who are anti-feminist should also read this book. And as I said, having this discussion, we also have a responsibility to take some positive action. Also, not only discussing won't help, but implementing it in our daily lives to parent as a parent and for the future parents. I think everybody has a responsibility to raise that children or men or boys or girls gender neutral. So treat them, show them to respect each other, not based on their gender. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you, everyone, for saying that. I would just say, read the book, do not read the book, your choice. But remember, good and bad do not have any gender. So let's not just remember we are humans, not judge people on gender. So that's it. Deep, could you please join us? The Deep is there. We have not put him to sleep. Thank God. You're awake, Deep. Hi.
You must be waiting for us to wrap up.
Sorry. Deep, we can't hear you.
You're not.
We spoke too much. His mic decided not to work. No, too much we spoke. This is what happens.
Well, thanks everybody. Thank you for the discussion. Thank you for a lovely evening. Thanks Gunjan for bringing me into this group. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We should thank Deep also for hosting the entire thing. Thank you, Deep.
He's logging in out and coming back. Wait 2 minutes, Additi. He's saying wait quietly. No, he waited for such a long time.
We still haven't discussed about while growing up, how do we need to positively reinforce body images in children? Because with changing bodies, especially at time of puberty, there are a lot of comments and you really feel like going into a shell at that time. Deep is back.
His mic has given it up. He's like, these people talk too much. I will follow the rule of silence. Okay, I think there's some issue happening. So, like Ruchira said, growing up also, yeah, I agree. Puberty also has its brings a lot of issues which are not dealt with properly. But I'm assuming, as we have discussed, there are other parents, people coming and understanding these things, and this generation and the generation after will have it easier. Have more um, people explaining to them that it's not necessary to be ashamed of your breast, because a lot of girls start slouching and walking once they hit puberty because of that, because they're very conscious of their breast. So maybe that all will change. Like you said, we are working towards a change and we are waiting for that change to happen. So I thank you guys, for all of you, for joining, for having such a wonderful discussion, for giving so much of your time so generously. Thank you very much. I think we should call it a day now. Deep is back again. Let's see. Deep, is it working? Okay. No. Sure. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Call it a night. Good night. Thank you so much. Bye. See you all later.
Thanks, Gunjan, and thanks, Merrative. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.